Suze from Sawyer. Oh, hey, thank you for being here with me. You know, you guys are holding me accountable too. Because I have kind of a headache today and I'm kind of beat up. I overworked, let's say. Let's just hit it. Let's get moving. We don't need to hear my Dear Diary moments. I'm just pushing out. And again, I don't need this roller. So it's like, Suze, I don't have a roller. Maybe I don't either. It's just a little different movement because it rolls and it helps you. And again, we're going to be here a while. I was speaking with finance people and such today, and it's like, I don't see studio open before June 1st. So that means we're all going to be here a while. And what I'm interested in is let's purchase maybe a couple props or items that help you move. You need them anyway. If you were a client of mine, you'd already have them. And they're sitting at home going right now like, I have one, Suze. Now bend that elbow. It doesn't shrug and fall. Pull that elbow. It's called abduction. Pull that elbow into your spine. If you have a roller, you're fancy and you get to use that little thought. Good, 4 more. And 4. And what is this? Push. Push my hip away. Do you see my shoulders come off my back? No. It's about my rib cage reaching away from my hip bone. Watch what happens. This pulls together. Now this opens. It opens. I am over the imaginary barrel. So get out there for 3. I know you've done a lot. So have I. And 2. Kick that rib cage out laterally. Push it sideways. Last one. And 1. Good. Kick that rib. Good. Fabulous. This is hard for me too. If that's a little hard for you to sit like that, go ahead and modify. You can be right here. That would be probably a little bit easier. I've also tried this where I'm seated on a footstool right here, and I had a little stability ball out here. It was pretty good. MacGyver Fitness says hello. Now the next set is we talk about the spine being a dotted line. Now we're going to fold on the dotted line. You're my mirror image, so I'm going to speak in the terms that you are, right and left. So lift your right rib cage, and as you push out, reach. And I've got my right hand. What am I doing? I'm taking that right rib, folding in half to my left hip, and then pull it back. Lift your spine out, fold in half for 4. You don't see my head depressed, and because I'll tell you, the minute that starts to happen, you're gonna burn right through those little hips too. You don't like it. And last one. Good. Now get out here a little bit. You know, maybe you don't have a roller and you're like, I'm not getting one. Get over yourself. I get it. Maybe you want to use just a yoga block here, or 4. All right. So if you want to get out here, the other nice thing about being on a flat surface, this thing isn't rolling. So if you want to just go into what's called shaving, you can pull down and lift. These are work. I'm pulling my sternum up to the ceiling as my arm comes down. There is always a yin and a yang, a push and a pull. It's about the sternum lifting. Pull that up. 2 more. Inhale and exhale, lift. What? Last one. And twist. Good. Pull it back. Now, this is the left rib cage to right hip, and the opposing thought. Fold in half. Fold in half. The spine stays in one position. Take your rib cage and fold it around that spine. Good. 2 more. Fold in half 2. Good. Last one. Good. So we got a lot of good things going there. If that hip is tired, take that leg away. Now, if this is a little tight, I get this, believe me. I always say the best class you're going to get with me on the floor is if I'm doing it with you, because I'm going to feel it and push it right through you. So as we sit, and this isn't easy for me either, I'm not trying to slam my knees open. I'm trying to rotate this bone in the hip, inside that pelvis. Turn that bone. Now I'm lifting my spine up and over. I'm not trying to reach, there's nowhere to go. I'm just kind of lifting, so I'm up and over and I look into my spine. Now, whichever leg is in front, seems like your right would be, sit hard on the opposite hip and walk over. I am lifting up and over. If I can't touch, will be, I'm here. Maybe I'm here. Maybe I have something I have to hang on to here. Eventually this comes, lift up and over, and push your opposing hip away. That's your anchor. And then sit back up tall. These are simple moves, but once you get into these positions, because they're fixed and you're holding the form, they're harder and it's work. And if you've heard of creating your own resistance, that's part of that. Or a lot of what we're doing, isotonic, which means, you're working the muscle, but we're doing a lot of real isometric work where it's all about your lift, not about adding weight, about making it. A little more about applying your own resistance, let's say that. Now again, pull that spine up and out of that hip. You're looking for as much space between your rib and your hip as much as you can get. It's not from being up here and like, isn't this adorable? Oh yeah, I remembered my shirt's not. I spilled right before we started. There we go. So pull that spine tall. This is gonna burn the second you don't lift that spine and pull it up. So we have for 10, let's do 12, because we did quite a few on the other side. Wrap that elbow into your rib. If you were with me in front of me and I saw you here, there's trouble, there's problems. We gotta talk about this. So pull that elbow in. How do you know you get this right? You don't want me barking at you. When you come home, squeeze that orange under your arm. This reaches out. It's not about how far away can I push this barrel. You can keep moving if you like. I know this is hard. The skin that's underneath your arm, right here, that little muscle is also connected to your tailbone. So don't open that underarm too much, or you can tear that. You can see how easily that would be done. So don't pull that arm off your back. And 2 more. Let's go through the motion. Get through the series for 1. Good, nice. Now we're going to turn and push and turn. I know I kind of went out of order. That's how it goes. For 4. And I'm taking my spine, and I'll watch this later and I'll go, you weren't in control here. Keep that spine in one place and turn the rib to the opposite hip and fold it in the other direction. For 3. Beautiful. And 2. Lift. I should hear breathing. Last one. And now we're going to go into, like, again, you could use your yoga block. You could be here and you do this lift. You know what? This is a little taller, so it kind of gives me a little more help. Lift. And for 10. What? I'm trying to get over that ball backwards. That's the deepest work. You work with me, you know that a crunch is the smallest, least amount of work for the core. Here's more, here's more, here's more. Here's the deepest I have. Oh, that's the deepest core I have for 4. Maybe I changed that thought. Here we go for 3. Oh yeah, I was doing shaving, wasn't I? And 2. And let's add some shaving. So get out there for 5. Good. Get out there and pull down for 4. Pull it up and over. It's gonna cramp. You're gonna feel it right here. If you feel that, don't go as deep. You don't want to cramp there. It's no fun. Last one would work. Good. Now, again, I might have skipped something. Chances are I did. This is loose. We're having fun. You're hanging out with SOOZ. Oh, as annoying as that can be sometimes. Sometimes we have fun. Now, think of these bones inside of the hips. Those bones are gently opening. Now, you'll see at this point, a lot of people grab their toes and yank. Don't grab your toes. You can blow at your knee, tear the ACL, bucket handle tear. You can strain and sprain your ankle. Don't grab your feet. You can grab your ankles if you like and kind of hold. I'm pushing my legs gently down, pulling my elbows sideways, and then I'm coming over a little bit and coming back up. But sit hard on the hips too. You shouldn't fall into a position. Always make an anchor. And then that length or plank away. I'm planked, but I'm also in a round position. I'm flexed, so this is deeper, this is deep core. And two, I'm just warming up my hip because I'm a little tight. And then last knot. Now hook that rib into your lower or mid back, probably under the blades almost. And now just walk it over. Gently push that right hip down and reach over and just kind of feel the elbows press. What am I up to really? I'm just kind of pulling this rib to the hip and away. Good, 5 more. Pull the elbows backwards for 5. Look into your core. Hug that little peach under your chin for 3. We count poorly, don't we? For 2 more, 2. Good, last one and 1. Good. Here's the one where you see people grab the toes. Don't grab your toes here ever. If you like, go ahead, you can grab here, grab the ankles, but never the toes. Okay, great. It's just, I think, tearing that ankle. I've had people literally come back there somewhere vacationing and someone had said, really give it a pull. Yeah, but then they sprained their ankle or strained it so badly they could hardly walk the rest of the vacation. So you got to be careful for that. You know your own body. I'm not there. If something says, ow, then you take a note of that and you send it to me because we'll figure it out together. Nothing should hurt. There's a difference between it hurting like, oh, that's a signal, or, oh my God, this is hard. Totally different, 2 different things. And you want to be working, but you don't want it to hurt. That's not, it doesn't get better, it will get worse. And in fact, that's kind of where I'm not feeling the best today. I was lifting too much heavy stuff. So think of the psoas, starts here, got more here, digs in through here, he resides in here, and then he attaches at that lowest rib. The minute you pick up something heavy and then twist with it, oh, that is it. That psoas who's here, he goes, oh, right, yeah. You made me longer. Now I'm not only going to shorten, but I'm going to twist a little bit. So my back was really killing me. And I had a headache earlier, and I kept thinking, I don't want to make a video because I'm feeling kind of like I don't want to do anything. One of the only ways to get into that psoas is to get this waistline. He lives here. Mr. Psoas lives here. Ooh, boom. I'm not collapsed on this thing because this will bite and it will hurt. I'm standing kind of in third. And you don't really want your bottom rib. Those floaters, they can snap. So, kind of be kind to yourself. I like to take my hand behind my head. It supports the weight of my heavy head. Us brides, we got big heads. Woo! I'm kind of riding right under that rib. You'll know what I'm talking about when you try this. There is no better way in the world, and plus no one's doing massages now, and good luck if you can get a massage and someone will release a psoas for you. Not only is it a dangerous release for the therapist to do for their own body, it's such a big, long muscle. It's the only muscle that connects the upper and lower body. It's easy to herniate or even rupture or get near the colon and cause all kinds of catastrophe, let's say. If this is no big deal, good for you. This is what we want. It's just a checkup. Look, I'm not hunching and like, oh my goodness, push everything down, be in control. I don't need this thing, but it does give me that massage that I was looking for. So you're just going to kind of spin that around. Okay, so what I was going to talk to you a little bit today is called a little training term called specificity. Maybe in the past you've experienced that. We're going to get on that psoas. Be careful. Don't fall on this thing. Be realistic. You're going to kind of scoot out a little bit. Get this and kind of lower this elbow in. And if it bites and stabs, because it will, and if it's caught, it's going to feel like a knife in the back, man. It is like a knife in the back. But when that knife hits, it can only last for usually 6 to 12 seconds, something like that. it's a little post-neurological function, and it just, if it's completely cramped and you catch it like that, it almost has to release. So that would be what you call trigger release. So if you've heard about it, now you know how to do it to yourself. 4 more. Now again, I'm not really on this bottom arm, but I'm I'm in that rib cage, or under the rib, but I'm following the rib cage. I'm like underneath it and kind of getting around that thing. Again, skinny all the way. This psoas, this is the only muscle that connects upper and lower body. Last one. Now, if you find a place and you're like, you know what, I need to get in there a little bit, go for it. In fact, we're going to go a little deeper. Now, if you're getting some tingling in your fingers, maybe a little numbness in your little finger, achiness, elbow pain, you're overworking your forearm, but there's another thing happening is you're pulling your elbow away from your body. The elbow always needs to be in. When the elbow is in, the entire back works. Underarm to your tailbone. You've heard of the latissimus dorsi. Who hasn't, Suze? You're on it now. Think about the rotator cuff. We've all heard about you, rotator cuff. Oh my goodness. No, I'm not letting my head fall. I still have that peach. That little peach. Good. And I'm not struggling with my neck or my head, because if this hurts, don't do it. You know, there's no imperative here. And then when you find a spot, you're like, maybe I want to stay there for a minute. Get between those ribs. Those ribs will part. You don't want them pinching. Those little intercostals, if they pinch, you're going to feel that bite. And every time you take a deep breath, it's going to be inside of there. And you don't want that, because it's going to mean you're not taking the deep breath you need. I want you to start thinking about lateral breath. Add the breath in through the nose. I do it constantly because I've been training in this way for, a couple decades now. So it's pretty much muscle memory for me. Okay, we were there. Let's go into the latissimus. Now, and that's again under here, and then we're going to get around the rotator cuff. If you start to feel tingling and weirdness, remember all the nerves for your fingers and forearm feed down behind the ear under this little bone. The little brachial plexus is right here. So never shrug and shut this off. Open this. So don't shrug here. All right, now get like right underneath that rotator cuff. Hands can be here. I am making a sling. I usually say don't do that, but it's a little heavy for my head. And the reason you don't make a sling, and people are like, why? There's always a reason, right? And it's because it kind of shuts off the blood a little bit to the fingers. But also, I don't want people to yank and pull their head, because you're never pulling your head to do a crunch. It's not about your head. It's about this bone and this bone going, what? What? That's good. Timber. See how much fun it is to hang out with me? Many of you know my father. I might be a little more fun. Oh my God. The things he would have us children do. Last one. He pretends now not to remember a lot of these stories, but he has 4 little witnesses. That was pretty fun. Maybe you want to be done. That's like, thanks, Suze. That was great. We kind of got shoulders. We got the rotator cuff. We got deep core. Got a lot of lateral flexion, rotation. Ooh. If you want a little special extra credit, I'm going to take off my shoes. Now, without falling, that's always the prerogative that's most important to me. Get your forearms down. Look into your core. I'm going to lift tush just a little bit. Just clear the floor. Maybe you barely clear the floor. Who cares? Get up and on. This frame is so small. If you knew how long it took me to get here, don't do any of that. I'm just showing off. It's a circus trick. It's a party trick. Oh my God, Suze, that's all they need. Reach up. Just reach with those feet. Get exuberant, get excited, and reach them long. Turn them out. And in for 5. 5. And 4. Keep the shoulders wide. And what does that mean? Collarbones widen. See that turning? You're having no hip replacement on my watch. 4. Never cross your legs. 3. You hear me say it all day. 2. And 1. Good. Take that right leg. Stir this little... some people call this mortar and pestle. Now that means I'm not grinding into the hip. I'm sending the energy up and out. Inhale, exhale, up. And for 4. Now I'm not turning my foot because the foot will do all kinds of weird things to the leg. I'm using the heel to draw that line, and then you have a real bone movement in the hip. Okay, I think I didn't go the other direction. Now, if you can go low, you do, but it's not about going as low as you can. If you feel neck strain and pain in your lower back, nobody's keeping track on this one. 3 more. I'm not trying to go sideways. I'm trying to sweep under this bottom leg and just silhouette that leg just a little bit wider than my hip. I'm not turning the foot. There you go. Good. Nice. Cross it over. Now, again, I immediately turn that right heel in, cross down and under. Reach this leg up to the ceiling. When I watch these videos, I watch them, I play them back, and I see this leg gets really tired and weary. I gotta keep reaching. Oops, this leg lost touch. And 2 more. And what I was gonna talk about specificity, sometimes we hit a certain fitness level, and it's like, Suze, I'm just not getting better, or my endurance isn't improving. What could I do? If we're always doing the very same workout, it's specific, and your body is used to that specificity. Now, we're just going to take a little shift. So, if you want to shift it and change it up a little bit, it doesn't mean add another hour. If you know me, quickest, fastest, easiest, best way, get in, get out. If you get a good 20-minute workout in a day, I'm all about it. Maybe once in a while, yeah, you want to kick it up and go for a little bit more. I get it. Now I'm just squeezing that heel, squeeze that heel, pumping that bike. And now I'm going to kick and deepen. And I'm feeling this right under the rib cage where those obliques attach. And also think of those long rectus muscles. 4 and 3 and 2. Add the breath. Every time you exhale, you get rid of calories. The more you blow out, the more calories you burn. You don't have to work super, super, super hard and burn calories because it's heat. Oh, let's stay here. If you just exhale, just think of those floating calories. They're gone. Okay, so everything here up until now has been about a level 1 or level 2. Let's try level 3. We're going to go into our short spine. Remember, it starts with frog. So let's get the components. This is the frog part. Swimming frog, pull back the heels. Lengthen the feet, don't point the toes. It's not about that for 2. It's about squeezing my inner thighs together. Good. The next part is to lower and lift. And it's pretty tough to go low here. If you think you're special, go for it. Try it. But you don't want that belly to go round. Get ready for a hernia, and you will be very sorry. For 3 and 2. I'm so nice. Last one. Put those 2 together. So you have your push for frog, lower and parallel, shoulder stand to lift. Now, as you pull your toes to your shins, bend your knees, and look at my tailbone. It goes up to the ceiling. Now, I'm not trying to touch my thighs to my belly. I'm at this time trying to roll my spine down. And I'm feeling a little strain. I can tell I lifted way too heavy. The problem with me is I can. But the problem with that doesn't mean I should. Squeeze those inner thighs together. I'm only going to do 1 more. Because I'm feeling tired. Tailbone up as your knees come down. Boy, I feel that. Oh, right there. Oh, that brings me to another point. as we lie here for one more minute, give me some circles. I bought some cannabis salve or balm, and I have to say I've used it on clients in the past. And it's kind of like, oh, it's only for company, so I never tried it on myself. And I lifted really heavy the other day. And not working out, just again, doing new things like stacking wood, taking out huge things that I was going to move back up here to Michigan, you know, all that weird stuff. So anyway, the point is, that actually kind of worked. And in the past, I've had people say maybe yes, maybe no. For me today, and it's not a THC, it doesn't get you high. It is about the CBD releasing the musculature and the swelling. Now, my knees come in a little bit. If that's too much on your throat or chest, open your knees. Now, I'm lifting my head. Very good. If you feel like you want one more little extra credit, this one's, excuse me, a kicker. Yikes! I had to kind of go up without a cue here. I was ready to start cramping. All right, now as you come down, pull your ribs to your hips, one bone of your spine, one bone of the spine. Don't jam that lower back down. Try to touch it gently. Knees over the big toes. Your lower back gently touches. Don't jam it into the floor. Lift up, push your knees over your big toes. At this point, squeeze tush. Hey, did you notice my gorgeous tights? They're crazy cool. Can you see the barking dogs? I have way too many jokes inside of here. When you get to know me better, you'll know more of them as we go. Good. Roll it back down. Ribs to hips. Roll it down. Don't fall. Try not to fall. Last one. Lift back up. Now this one's called lunar lift off. Tap the tail, lift. Use your arms. Push. And 4. Squeeze tush. Wrap the backs of the inner thighs together. Keep that little tennis ball between the inner knee, right in between the knee. The legs shouldn't fall apart here. Last one. And one bone at a time. Oh, roll it back down. Good. Kick that out. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Take a big stretch. Gorgeous. Pull your right knee in. Cover your belly. Take that leg over. I'm not trying to lift this leg as high as I can. You can get hurt. It'll hurt right where I'm kind of injured. Right in that mid-back, right below the blade. Kind of where Mr. SOAS lives. Ah! Then take that away. If these are hard to do, you don't force a thing. If this is really hard, then all you do is just reach for this leg. Hopefully it'll get there. Maybe one arm can reach. Great, that's a great day. Maybe 2. Maybe you need a kitchen towel to hang on and really just hold it here. Make sure that knee goes past your ear. All right, then just gently take it out. And if this hurts, don't do it. Sit hard on the hip that you're pulling away from. This hip would love to go for a ride. Yay me. Really open. I don't know, I probably didn't do this on the other side, but you can get the point here. Now, sit hard maybe on this hip. Pull the other little booty to the floor. This foot's not independent. That toe is attached to my shin, which is attached to my knee. I can give it a little push. And 3, if you want to add the face, go for it. Be careful, you can get dizzy. Don't whip your eyes. And 1. Great. Pull your knees in. Roll up carefully. All right. Thanks. So that just was a little bit about specificity. If you're doing new things, yeah, you can kick up your fitness level and you can kind of get a little bit stronger in all those other things, lungs and all that other stuff responds, or respiratory system. But there's that push that I did a little too hard, that little different thing that was different specifics, and it kind of made me not feel good. So don't push yourself in these different times. I know we're doing closet cleaning for one thing and throwing out stuff. This is when we get hurt. So be very careful how you lift and make sure that you keep your little tummy engaged with that navel, diamond in the navel. SOOZ from Sawyer. Let's see you get up and off that floor. Maybe use the roller. Tuck your toes under. Help yourself up. It's not easy for me either. Look at these. Delightful.